Our first news is the official announcement of Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford, which is set for July 29th here at the T-Mobile Arena in wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. Should I get us tickets? That is up to you. That is up to you guys to decide if we should get tickets on this. But before we get into it, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and it's free. So let's get into it. Man, this announcement came out of nowhere. I remember last year, Isaiah was like super down about it. He's like, "This fight will never happen." Nah,
Dude, I'm gonna be 60 and old before it's happening.
And I was like, I believe it's gonna happen next year. Sometime in the summer or sometime in December, they might make it happen.
Oh, shut the hell up.
No, I did. We got the tapes, I believe, right?
Oh my god. Okay, keep going.
I'm fucking, I'm a prophetic person. Yeah. But, in terms of this, it was pretty big because how I know it's big is ESPN First Take, which isn't really a boxing channel or a boxing network. They talk about mostly basketball, football, or whatever happens in sport. But rarely do they have boxing on. And when the announcement was made, Stephen A. Smith put Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford on his show to talk about this fight, which is huge because there are millions of viewers that watch First Take. And this is huge for boxing. Spence has said this is the biggest fight in the of the year. Crawford, I believe, said that it is the biggest fight of the decade. And I'm going to toss it to you, Isaiah. What do you think about this breaking news?
Y'all are getting late.
It's not late, dog.
Late. Guys, you're so late. This shit should have been happening years ago. Nah, but I mean, on the real, we've been waiting for this fight for a very long time. This fight has been on and off and on and on and off and off and on, and like due to multiple aspects, mainly having to do with black suit issues. But man, we finally get to see it. We've been having all these fights that we finally get to see, and I mean, like for example, Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis is something that we haven't wanted to see for a while. Triple G versus Canelo is something we wanted to see for a while, but that one's again, I would argue that's also kind of late. And then Lomachenko versus Haney, we just saw that one. We saw that one live, and then there's this one. So Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. In my honest opinion, it's I'm thinking that this is going to be another one of those hard fights to score, seeing as how both Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford have their can and cannot do's for the other person. Errol Spence, having worked with like people like Mayweather, for example, and there have been stories that Errol Spence Jr., even in his early stages as a fighter, gave Mayweather a lot of work, and it was like a spar match, and then the story was that he gave he was one of the people that Mayweather's like, yeah, bring him on anyway. I can kick his ass anyway. He gave him some work, and then Errol he called Errol Spence a pussy, and they're like, yeah, let's run it back again, and then they ran it back, and then Mayweather just said no, he doesn't want to. Just enough is enough, or like he's been sparring too much that day, and he just want to call it off. So that's the story that with Errol Spence, and of course everyone knows who Terrence Crawford is. Shakur Stevenson works with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford also gave Shakur Stevenson a lot of work when Shakur was back in his Olympic days. And everyone knows TC. He's hard hitting. He's known for breaking gloves, dude. Like especially the last fight that we saw, with that whole like side of the glove thing with Terrence Crawford. So dude can hit extremely hard. Okay, so and even though it is close as it is, my quick prediction as of right now is going to be for Terrence Crawford. Seeing as how Errol Spence has I think is the last fight that he had. Who was it against? Was it
Yeah,
Ugas?
it was Ugas, and he broke his
Oh my
eyes,
god,
bro.
that was a long time ago, dude.
Yeah, it's
But
2022.
that's a long time ago. No, but the
Mhm.
uh the way that Errol Spence looked in the Ugas fight, I was kind of skeptical about, especially like the early rounds. He was just letting a lot of things through. And Ugas, I don't know, Ugas did some weird thing. This is I think the last time we had this podcast and we talked about so we're talking about that fight. We're like, what is Ugas doing? Like he was just doing like the Muhammad Ali thing, trying to tire the other dude out, but he literally just put his hands like right in front of his face and played off of these weird like in between combo plays where Errol Spence would throw a combo and like somewhere between one and two punches Ugas would throw something like a hook or something just to throw off the rhythm, but then he just kept blocking with his face like for the majority of the time, and it just looked so bad. And we just couldn't figure it out. So I'm just kind of skeptical about Errol Spence Jr.'s game plan coming in, or like the way that he'll feel after a long layoff. Um, I'm gonna have a lot more faith in Terrence Crawford, either outscoring him or I wouldn't even put like a knockdown or a knockout past him either. So I think I'm just gonna have as a slight advantage towards Terrence Crawford on this. What do you think, Mike?
I just want to say shout outs to Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, because those two started making everyone realize that if you have the two most anticipated fights happen, people will watch and buy.
Oh my god! Oh,
I'll just be honest, right?
wow!
I think
God.
not only that, but in this case, TC is no longer with ESPN Top Rank, so there is no longer an issue of the black suits behind TC. Because if TC wants to fight Spence, he would have to make a deal with Showtime PBC, and he made it happen. There's multiple channels, multiple accounts on Twitter who posted a poll about who they see winning. It was very close. It was, I think, 49% of people said Errol Spence would win. 46% said TC would win, and 3% said it would be a draw. Some people are leaning towards Errol Spence. Primarily, Errol Spence is the bigger person coming into this fight. He has the bigger punching power compared to TC, and his welterweight record in terms of TC's is better. Errol Spence has broken two other boxers' orbital bones, one being Kell Brook when Kell Brook was still undefeated, and the other being Yordanis Ugas. And in terms of skill wise, it would be towards Crawford, but in terms of high pressure, hard body punches, Spence brings that in abundance. And in addition, man, Ugas was hurting up Manny Pacquiao, and he was landing punches, hard punches on Spence, and Spence took it. He took it well, so he has a chin. I want to see how TC's gonna look against Spence, and this is a great fight, and this I think this year has been great for boxing. We had Caleb Plant versus Benavidez early. Then we had Garcia, Tank, Loma, Haney. We're going to have Inoue versus Stephen Fulton coming up. Then we're going to have Better Biev versus Callum Smith later on. And hopefully at the end of the year, we're going to have all the heavyweights face off. Usyk, Fury, Joshua, Wilder. And now we're also going to have this into the year. and I think this is great for boxing. It's going to revitalize the sport, especially. I saw a lot of other sporting networks talk about this. Undisputed was one. For me, I would also lean towards Crawford in this fight because Spence has been into multiple accidents, car accidents. He has a drinking problem. Let's just be honest.
Oh.
Let's just be honest, man. He's been in like horrific car accidents because of that demon he has. He has been laid off because of injuries. He had a detached retina early on, and hopefully this long layoff doesn't really affect him. But considering, there is ring rust, we'll see how this looks like. Crawford recently fought someone. Not a known name, but he fought someone. So he has the edge of that because he fought a body, and he's more amped for it. I just want to see how Errol Spence will look in this fight. It's going to be very close, considering. But Errol Spence has all the belts, has 3 of the belts, 3 out of the 4. Crawford only has the WBO, and it will be fought under Showtime PVC, which is the network that supports Errol Spence. Am I insinuating that there might be a robbery? Who knows? Who knows?
It's like one of those. It's like one of those fights. It's one of those. Anything can happen. It's pretty 50-50 kind of thing. Slight advantage to one or the other.
I'm gonna say slight advantage towards Spence because it's his network. He has the belts. If this was fought under ESPN when Crawford was, still with them, I would say Crawford. But this is being fought solely on on Showtime. I'm just saying there have been more shadier decisions on Showtime than there has been in some of the other boxing networks. So if I was Crawford, I wouldn't be happy with just a knockdown.
You gotta go multiple or
no, knock him out, bro. Knock him out. Knock him out. Stop it, bro. Spence, on the other hand, all I would have to say is if he gets a knockdown, he winning the fight. I'm just saying, if he gets a knockdown, he winning.
Rip.
Hey, it is what it is, bro. If especially with Showtime PBC, bro, they want to make sure the belts stay on their side of the block, on their side of the network. They don't want that to go to TC, because if it goes to TC, then he just leaves. So I'm just saying, hopefully, if it is a close fight, right, they do a rematch, but we'll see what happens. These are 2 undefeated fighters. Hopefully, nothing happens to either of them, in terms of injuries, because I do not want this fight to be postponed or canceled. I have nothing to do on that day, so I would like to watch this fight. So please, for boxing, keep this fight going. What would you guess the pay-per-view numbers would be for this fight?
Current pay-per-view numbers?
Yeah, so like, unfortunately, right? Caleb Plant versus Benavidez did, I think, roughly around 100K.
Oh, wow.
Loma versus Haney did roughly around 150 to 150K. But according to Bob Arum, it did like 300K. But
all right, thanks, Bob Arum.
But there's numbers saying it's 150K actually. But Tank versus Garcia did 1.2 mil.
Wow.
Yeah. So what are you gonna guess for this one?
Dude, not like that. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere even near Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I think the
Really?
reason why no, no, I'm
Uh,
sorry. Like I as much as okay, the reason why I say that, right? As much as people have been wanting to see this fight, the whole reason why the Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight was also so huge is because a lot of the like the younger fan base was into that fight too. Um
because
and so like they just had like a lot more of an audience than they will for someone like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Like for example, like if I go up to somebody and I ask them if they knew uh if they knew Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, or in comparison, if I asked if they know who like Tank Davis is or Ryan Garcia, more than likely, I'm gonna have a lot more hits for Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis than Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So I don't think it's gonna do that good of a number. A number, and plus just the build up for Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, it was so good.
yeah,
They've had like a lot of press. Like I felt so bad for the Haney and Lomachenko one. All of their press came like the very last week. I was like, what the? You guys are doing all this press for that now? You
yeah.
should have been doing that like months ago. Uh, so I mean, I don't think it's gonna be do that. I might I could be proven wrong,
What's the
but I don't
number?
think it's gonna do 1.2 mil.
What's the
You know
number?
what I mean?
What's the number?
A number.
Yeah.
What are they fighting?
They are fighting on July 29th.
No, where?
T-Mobile Arena here in Las
Oh, T-Mobile
Vegas.
Arena. Okay. Ooh. Man. Is the T-Mobile? I can't remember. Is the T-Mobile Arena like in terms of spacing? Is it bigger than the MGM's one? Right? Is it
I'm
bigger?
not talking about the live gate number, right?
Or just like in general?
Like so pay-per-view numbers, right? Those are people at home who buy it to watch.
Wait. The Haney and Lomachenko fight only did 100, 120,
150K.
150, 150K.
Yeah, so there are roughly around 150K people at home who bought it to watch the fight.
Oh, okay, okay.
But on Twitter, it seems like the whole world watched it. So I know some of them were illegally streaming it.
Hey,
I absolutely hate that because I'm
that's
like,
that's what I was
because
asking.
I'm
So
like, there's so many people here saying, "Oh, it was a robbery." I'm like, did you really watch it? Because this is showing there's only 150K people actually watch this fight.
okay, no, sorry, no, I misheard that. Okay, in terms of pay-per-view numbers,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. So in terms of pay-per-view numbers, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna take the Haney fight and let's just double it to like I don't know around 300.
you're
I
gonna
would
do
say
300K.
300K. Yeah, that's my
Ooh,
problem.
oh man.
I'm not sure if that's low or high. I feel like that like in comparison to like the Tank Davis and the Ryan Garcia fight, that's low. But I know it's not gonna be that high.
Uh,
I can almost guarantee you it's not gonna be that high.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be. It's going to be so. Assuming this right, so ESPN, first take broadcasted the announcement of this fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I think roughly around like they usually get between 600 to 2 million viewers,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the day, especially with the NBA finals happening. They're getting a large amount of views. So a
Mm-hmm.
large amount of these people are going to be interested because ESPN Top Rank, ESPN First Take, is the one who's broadcasting it, as well as Undisputed on Fox Sports Network also broadcasted the announcement of this fight. And there are a few like top celebrities who've been tweeting about this fight now. I'm gonna assume it is going to do between 500 to 1 million pay-per-view buys
I
somewhere
hope
there.
so. Yeah, like at least Because like I was surprised that the numbers for the Haney and Loma fight were that low.
Well, that's because
I was like, huh?
that's because I'll just be honest. That was poor. That was absolutely piss poor promotion from ESPN
Yeah.
Top Rank. They literally put out all the promotional stuff 4 or 5 days prior to the fight. And
Yeah.
the only person who was actually doing interviews and going on podcasts and stuff was Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
Lomachenko, like as great in terms of skill wise, Loma is, bro. He is not a promoter's dream because he doesn't speak English. He doesn't trash talk. He doesn't do much in terms of garnering the interest or love or hate type of vibe from fans. He's just really good in the ring, right?
They
His
should if they you know what they should do for Loma is they should have, or like anybody who speaks a different language other than English, just put like have them speak normally,
have
but like is it because
subtitles.
they have subtitles exactly like we all watch Netflix, and everyone who watches Netflix more than likely 90% are gonna have subtitles on that. Like we know what subtitles are, and like so because when you have them speak English, you have like a wrong translator or something, you make them lose a lot of the flair in their in their speaking. Like I'm pretty sure Loma can speak like exemplary Ukrainian, right? I'm pretty sure he has like a some kind of finesse in Ukrainian, and like when he speaks English, you kind of lose some of that, even though he can speak it to an okay extent. It's he loses a lot of the uh I don't know, I'm gonna repeat. I can't think of the word flair. So just do that. Just do subtitles, and so we can have like this like we can root for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
It's
it's just. But here's the thing. I do agree it might be lower. I'm hoping for 500 to a mil, but I was watching the first take episode of Spence and TC on it.
mm-hmm.
Both these guys. I'm not hating on one or the other. Both of them. They cannot talk.
Oh
Like Mayweather can like talk so much shit. Like Connor can talk so much shit, and it just sells a fight. But these guys, they're like, I'll knock you out. I'm like, okay, talk. I'm like, talk about like go at this man, please, please go at this man. You know, and I think that's where this is gonna fall short. But in terms of promotion, with ESPN First Take, with Fox One and Undisputed, and Showtime's own like access, I think they will sell a higher percentage than most people are gonna expect.
but I hope you can prove me wrong.
I'm
I hope
hoping.
you can prove me wrong.
I'm,
I hope it's more than my 300 grand, like my 300 grand pay per view buys. Cause like, damn, if Haney and Loma did that low, I am
I'm
so
blaming
upset.
Top Rank for that one. Right.
That was so. You're talking about like the like one of those the fights that you don't get to see ever again. You know what I mean? Like it was such a close fight, and it's we got what we wanted. We got like a really close fight,
Yeah, they did
and
really
with
well.
really
They did really well
yes.
in terms of the gate. When people arrived at the
Oh
arena,
yeah,
they did really well.
yeah.
But in terms of the pay-per-view numbers, no. But to me, I think again, hopefully this does work out well. I'm pretty excited. Uh, my prediction might change after watching both guys train, um, depending on what they do and how I see how they are in training camp, as well as information being leaked. It might sway me one or the other, but this is pretty 50-50 for me. um it's going to be great. I hope that there is no robbery.
Oh God, watch it be like the second robbery. They'll be like,
The
oh, we're gonna look at our
second, oh,
judges.
whoa,
We're gonna look
whoa,
at
whoa.
our we're gonna look at our judges, bro.
No, I think Even though I was insinuating a robbery earlier, but hopefully it's not. It would
You,
suck.
you better knock on wood, dog. I swear to God.
But
Errol Spence, number 2.
but let us know what you guys think about this fight, especially with this coming out of the blue. No one saw them. No one saw this pop out. We just
Oh no, yeah.
we just heard them that they were talking, and then all of a sudden, it's been officially announced. All right, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below.